Alright, hey, welcome to my video. This is going to be a very important video, actually. So I'm going to actually be moving into mid-game content, and actually explaining a lot. So there's going to be a lot going on in this. It's going to be kind of fluid, so I don't know. I'll probably be jumping around from topic to topic. Before I load the game and start, just my mind will go to like 10 places ahead of what I'm thinking about doing as I'm trying to talk about it, which will just kind of come out all disjointed. So what I will be focusing on will be fleet management. I'll be pushing towards funding my shipyard. I'm going to streamline my money-making machine now. Mid-game money-making machine, I should state. It's doing really, really well. And I'm starting to now build up the fleets that I wanted to have to respond to different situations. So I'm going to show you the fleets that I got, why I made them, how I'm using them, how I set the ships up, meaning what type of setup, my reasoning, my logic. I'm kind of testing my foot in the water because I'm kind of trying to use different ships that I used to use. I'll show you. Let's go ahead and load. But I'm not using a modified version of the game. This is very important to note because I love using mods. I love mods in this game, but I'm trying to keep this clean for using the venture module whenever they get ventures back up and running. But I most assuredly will have a modded game as well. But I want to draw attention because whatever I use here can be used in a modded game, depending on, if the mod changes some major aspect. But you get what I'm saying. If you're doing that, then you'll know what it is that's been changed. So let's go ahead and load this game up, see where I'm at. I think I left off last night in a pretty happy spot. So basically where I'd reached is a spot where I was looking at my station is now just exactly where I wanted it. Its growing pains are over. He's done. Now I'm in the tuning phase where it's providing him with miners, kind of figuring out, targeting what he needs exactly, and then also looking now at fleets to protect and mitigate satellite or laser tower spam, which I'll show you. Like my miners are just the asteroid belt in the Terran area just looks super crazy mode. It's out of control. That's good, but it's also just like almost an eyesore. It's pretty bad. Okay, we get in. I'm assuming I'm probably in my office. I wish Egosoft had a music player in here. They got everything else. You got like a bank teller thing behind you, like a pneumatic tube to store stuff, but you don't have music. I mean, all right. All right, so let's get a real quick snapshot. So the orientation of the map is we got Hop here at the south, we've got the Terran to the west, and the Pyramids to the east, and the split way up here in the north. This has been a heck of a I really had to. This has been a heck of a anti-Xenon operation I had to do myself. Anybody who's watched any of my other previous videos will understand why this right here, Family Zen. If this falls, it's because of a cascade error that is inevitable. Now I don't know how they've held on to Wretched Skies, right? I have no clue. I do not understand the logic here. As if I'd have to look at the map for X4, but I believe either the Xenon pouring from, maybe they pour in from this, no? I don't know. I just know that they pour in, and I believe it's through the Pyramid. So the Pyramid have sectors up here. Then there's a Xenon area, and there's only one way for the Xenon to go, and it's right straight into here. So basically, you got to keep an eye on these spots because if they get lost, it means that the Xenon have steamrolled through. And there's two spots that are really, really bad you need to watch. So you got a shipyard here, and you have a ship or wharf here, right? Now they're pretty cut off, and I like them having this because they're able to create raiding parties that will cause damage, and I don't want everybody. I'm kind of like what would you call it? The morally gray ethical power here, and you should be too if you're looking to make money, because that's what you're doing, right? You're not in this game to like, be the charitable, happy, good lucky, nice guy, right? You're there to build an empire, and you're not going to build an empire by not making money, right? So if you need a draw, you need this economy to be stimulated, and the only way in X4 to stimulate the economy is it's not simulated, or I should say it's not scripted. So it's simulated. So for that draw to happen, I need this guy to maybe die once every now and then, or I need, and then that'll cause them to do stuff. So I need the Xenon. The Xenon are an unnecessary evil, but they're an evil you need to keep in check, right? So once you get a little bit overboard and you start seeing them, I don't know, taking out all these family zones. So I had to go all the way up in here. I cleared this out. This will be the third time I've cleared it now. I've kept them out of these areas, and I think just by repeatedly bashing them, I've put enough of a draw on their resources that they're kind of now slowing their roll. They're not. This has been free from Xenon activity now for a little while. I'm starting to see food transports transiting from here through this contested zone through here, which I'm going to have to. I just can't, for crying out loud, I just took it out. But I need to give them some breathing room, right? I don't need to, but it's in my interest too. So he's now become a passive fleet. I have two Asgards on station here, which I've I've named them Omega Task Force, right? And I like dragons, so um, these guys are really safe. I got them in a line abreast formation. If you want to know how to do that, if you want to know how to rename your fleet, make sure you don't have anything selected, because when you right click, it'll bring up a contextual menu as if you're trying to interact with that object. Meaning, like if I take this guy and click here, it's going to be a different thing than if I click off him and click here. See what I'm saying? So anyways, you can rename your fleet. This is where you would rename the fleet. Click on the actual tab here. I don't want to assign additional ships to these guys because the Asgards can hold their own. I just need to pay attention for H's are it's kind of a toss up with the AI. Like with the two Asgards here, I'm pretty sure they're safe, man. If I had my way, I'd have a third one just to have that real safe peace of mind, but I don't trust it. If an eye came in here, I would absolutely teleport out there. And I wish there was some way to put a warning or like a ticker alert to me that this, like to customize, say the fleet to say, hey, I want to be alerted anytime an L or their weight class shows up. Send me an alert and bring me out a SETA, right? But they won't do that. At least I've not found anything that does that. So right now, what I'm telling them is basically just attack anything in this area. Have them probably attack this, probably have them attack this, probably bump over here to Family Nut, take out whatever was there, and then just have them sit here for a little while, you know, being a pain in the Xenon's rear end, because they're, you know, besides the K and H fires seismic rounds, which can be pretty deadly if they're not taken care of, right? But I mean, it takes like 2 seconds to kill them with the Asgard, like probably literally 2 to 3 seconds with their main cannon. It's just that the AI will not use the main cannon. It's really weird at times. Anyways, so my player HQ, I've been funneling funds into it just because I didn't want to, you know, I'm kind of getting into lazy mode here. What's happening here at the player HQ is that I realized I didn't have it constructed the way that I wanted. So let's go into the plan build and I'll show you exactly what I'm talking about. So I'm starting to now migrate it towards a Terran sort of build. And actually, I'm going to change a little bit right here. So, because it looks like I was right in the middle and I stopped, which is just amazing. Okay. And then I'll move these solar panels back over. Now, more than likely, I just like to keep the PHQ as like what it is. It's, you can absolutely turn it into a station that you're going to make a production facility, but I look at this as like a lot of wasted space, and I want to keep it clean and well defended, right? So I threw some Terran turrets. I can do more, but see, here's the problem with the Terran technology. It requires silicon carbide, metallic microlattice, and most importantly, and costly, carbon substrate. These are all Terran made goods, so to get this station completed in Heretic's End, it's a long ways to go for my ships, right? So, but there's just no way getting around it. I just decided because Bozo's like research is now getting to the point where, you know, the little Argon stuff I had from the beginning of the game is just not sufficient. I don't even know I have solar panels if I'm being honest, but you know, whatever. I'll even throw like a couple more defensive platforms on here because, you know, why not? Um, let's see, how do I want to approach this? Yeah, I mean, I shouldn't go overboard. I mean, it really is a little stupid at this point because it's not, if I'm being, when you look at this from a, like a strategic sort of standpoint, it's really not that well protected. Like if they came from this side, if I was attacking the space, I would come from here, hit this platform, then take this one out, and then take the administrative center out, and then hit here, and you know, it's just not set up for really strong defenses. That's why there's a fleet on standby. So, but let me go ahead and populate these turret emplacements really quick. I have a preset. I like, you know, Argon plasma turrets in the large spots, and I like the beam turrets in the medium slots, and then a Terran shields. There's just no even question about that. Reason being is the plasmas hit really hard. I mean, they're slow, right? The projectile, it shoots a projectile. So the beams will always hit, but against capital ships, they're not going to really do anything, right? So, yeah. All right, so it looks like I got all the rest of this populated. I could have sworn that I added changes. Oh, what's going on right now? Okay, so I just added it to. All right, cool. And then I move these in for module changes. So as you can see, the cost of this station is just crazy expensive, right? Especially for early mid game. This is a lot of money, and that is because of the fact that it needs Chymotaric substrate. If we look at this, yeah, the Chymotaric substrate we're looking at. Well, I'd have to look at the build order. Let me look at that, or the build. The build storage is offer. So let's look at the trade offers for the build storage. Now I'll tell you what I need. So a 10,000 Chymotaric substrate is nuts, considering these are 9,000 each. So take 9,000. And it averages around 9,000, we'll say. It could drop down to like 8,700 up to 9,100, but we'll just say 9,000. So 9,000 times 10,000, right? So you see where this costs, and then it just starts. This is crazy. That amount of metallic microlattice is just kind of mind-numbing. But here's the good news, right? And so you're seeing here, right here, a good idea of why this station is just not getting built, because nobody here has I'm so far away from Terran. I mean, it looks like I'm close, but I'm not. The Terrans to transports would have to go through. They're at war now with Argon and Antigone Republic, so due to some decisions I made. But anyways, yeah, any transport trying to get to me, it's just gonna not be worth their while. So, but here's the interesting thing. My station here that I've named Terran Ware's main base. This is a station that I've been working on building up. It's now just about completed, I want to say. Let's see where it is. I think its production is done. Let me see. Yeah, there's no. Wow. Yeah, it's fully done now. So if we look at the plan build on this, you can see it's a pretty big station, right? It is fully closed loop except for one thing. My Terrans don't have their own food and medical supplies, so that still has to be imported. It's not really a big deal. I'll probably go ahead and do that. I'll probably also at the same time add more living quarters for these guys, but that's not my priority right now. It's off on a secondary kind of list. I'm just showing you. So this base is well defended. The solar panels, I set these up like this, all ridiculous mode, because if a ship comes in, it's going to probably want to hit these first, right? And these are cheap. I don't care if these things get blown up. And it's easy for me to get imports for these to be replaced. So I don't care. Take them out. Have fun. While they're taking these out, they're going to be getting pulverized by fighters and so forth. Which reminds me, I need to add more of these 4M docks to the station. So I believe I only have two. It's good for drone recovery. So when you launch defensive drones, they're going to be recovered by whatever docks that you have in place. The Terrans have docks that are 10 ship docks. So that means you could do recoveries of 10 at a time, 10 at a time, 10 at a time. So if you've got two of them, that's 20 at a time. 30 would be three. You get it. So, and this place is really, really heavily defended too. So if we look at the loadout, I'm sitting with 198 plasma turrets, 784 beam turrets, and just equal corresponding, and it's fully populated. It's fully built. There's no more money to spend on this base. He has a full complement of drones. He's got 495 drone fighters he can launch. So you can imagine the recovery option right now. If I can only do 20 at a time and he launches, let's say all four, that wouldn't happen, but let's say he activated 400 drones. The recovery option on that would take an insane amount of time, right? So I probably will add more docks. But again, that's kind of even I would say a tertiary, way out there sort of thing I'm concerned about. And so you guys could actually see what it looks like. So let's go to property owned. This is going to be your favorite screen. I would say that you can do a lot from here, right? There's two screens I would say are the most important in the game. This is hands down the most important. This will show every ship you've got. It gives you contextual information to get to what you need to. So if I need to look at the logical overview, I can do that here. I could do the same by going to the base and hitting logical overview. But here, it doesn't matter what I'm looking at. I could be way over here looking at nothing and still get that logic overview. So it's nice. This property owned tab underneath the map screen. Huge. So we'll look at this. And to get kind of a feel for this, this is where I've been trying to get in where I fit in, sort of thing. Meaning, I've been trying to gauge his orders that he's placing out for sourcing mineral ores. I'm obviously okay. The helium's always been high, methane and the hydrogen. So as far as liquid storage and gas miners go to provide that, I'm good. Right, so you can see right here, if it's green, it's my ship providing it, right? If we look at methane, he's not even placing an order for that. My ships, I've got probably mining gas miners just out there like spinning in circles or something, I don't know. But here we can still see that I have, and these are large ships too, I believe. Hokkaido, yeah, it's a large miner. Terran miners, so looking at this, I'm gonna guess that I mean, it just have a snapshot. I would have to sit here and keep looking, and any changes that you make to factory, right? Anybody that's played any factory game, it's the same thing, right? Any change you make right now won't be seen for a while, right? Meaning, if you make changes to the infrastructure, if you add things, if you remove things, whatever you do will have an effect that won't be seen until later on. So if I had a miner here, I'm not going to see an immediate result because he's going to have to go out, get on site, start mining, come back, boom, 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 boom. And that's probably, as far as the game is concerned, going to take about a half hour to an hour for it to happen. Now, instead of that would speed way up, but this is where you start getting a feel for the game. So that's why I encourage people to look at this and understand it, right? It sucks, it's an eyesore, but that's kind of what the game's about in some ways, right? Not being an eyesore, but like I look at this and it doesn't give me a headache anymore. I'm just kind of looking at this and I can almost do the math in my head and look at it and go, okay, obviously he needs help in this front because I'm not seeing this, right? I'm not seeing no imports coming in, and so actually I overcorrected here. In this situation, I've got gas miners that are doing a whole lot of nothing. Really, honestly, I don't care. It doesn't matter to me at this point. Because the miners, the L-class miners I'm using, I'll show you the setup that I'm using. They're awesome. But here you see, like, if I keep going over these and just keep an eye on them, all I'm seeing are only my ships bringing in deliveries. That's what I want. So for me to achieve that here, I got some work to do. Now my ships bring in about 5,000 you saw, so as opposed to these guys. That's because the Argon are out of control, or I mean the Antigone Republic Sentinel class ships are just ridiculous when it comes to cargo capacity. So let's go into that. We'll look at my credit chart. I've always said this. This is me. Like I'm removing money from him because his operating budget is 54 million. So every now and then I'm just hitting accept estimate, and it's gonna automatically take that money out of his account. So it looks like a draw, but it's just putting him right back to what he needs, what he's telling me. He's like, dude, I need this much money on hand to just make sure the machine runs fine. Now this is that smoothing I was talking about, right? Now, once you know, except for these artificial drops, this smoothing is him making debits to purchase minerals, right? I'm trying to mitigate that. So the more you can flatten this line out, right? This is where I'm talking about finding the amount of minerals miners I need. The more you flatten this out, and this doesn't matter, it's for any production facility that you're going to make. The more I can supply my own station, the better it's going to be. But regardless, what you want to see is even at the low, when I put him at his minimum of 54 million, look at, okay, he bought some stock, bumped up, right? He bought stock, bumped up. Bought some stock, bumped up. So we're seeing an upward ticking, and it's actually really fast. Like if you look at it, if I'm not taking money from him, like this is really, really very profitable, to say the least. Now it's not going to be so profitable if I have to start sending my transport way over to the station to get Terran goods, which is probably what I'm going to have to do for a while. Because I need metallic micro lattice for my player HQ to finish building its modules. So, but luckily now I'm making everything, so I don't need to worry about that. So that's all right. Let's jump into what have I done. Now I created a Falx division. I call my QRF, right? Because I'm a nerd, right? It's just for me. I do name them like that. My quick reaction force, because these guys are meant to do just that. They're temporarily assigned here until I actually make a defensive fleet to guard this base, because I'll always have defensive fleets to guard my bases when I can. When I can get to that point, that is. But this Falx division is actually a pretty eclectic setup. So if we look at the loadout on these bad boys, and I'll get to the miners I was mentioning here in a second, but these guys are armed with proton barrages. I was kind of torn. I really like the bolter turrets, you know, but these are basically the same thing. And then they have two plasma turrets, right? I've explained now my reasoning behind that. So they can have a little punch in case something heavier comes at them. Now, I don't care if these guys die. Well, obviously I do, but they're not like an essential thing. They're almost a throwaway. My QRF would probably be 7 ships if I could do it, and I'd probably add like a fighter, you know, to each of these guys, because I think they can hold. Fighters can these guys hold? Let's see. I know they can hold fighters, and for some reason it's doing a 2. So they can have 2 fighters on board them, which is pretty impressive for a ship, right? Like these guys are I was, and this is where I stepped outside my comfort bubble. I was gonna go with, say, the some Nemesis, because those are my favorite ship personally, but you know, it's just, I don't know what to say. These things are ridiculous. If you look at them, they're tanky. They've got a lot of hit points. 20,000 for hull, which is pretty good for a frigate style, Corvette style class ship. They're using Terran shield, so of course they're just out of control. I outfitted them with Pyranid engines. Pyranid have the best in the game, so they're operating fast. So I retrofitted them with those, and yeah, so they really are. They're using the best shields, the best engines. They got the best combat thrusters, and they got a pretty good loadout, right? And yeah, I'm just leaving them, letting them do their thing. So let me look at some of my other fleets. I don't think I really have any other. And my main base, which is a weird mix of timeline ships I threw together, and they're protecting my main base right now. Right, so let's look at my minor loadout, because I'm going to go ahead and probably buy 2 of them. So the first step will be jacking the funds from this guy. So I'm going to do the logical overview. He's over his operating budget, so all I just do is hit accept estimate. It'll show on the chart like I just lost a lot of money, but I didn't. I just took the, the extra money that he had on hand. And now that gives me enough almost perfectly to buy 2 mineral ships. So we'll go L. And what I like to do is so go with the Magnetars, right? Go for the Sentinel. That's very important. And the reason why is because look at the storage on these guys is out of control. Like it's just nuts. They're huge. And they're tanky, they're big, they're awesome. Now what I did was I basically, if you look at a high preset, you need to look at this for a second. I tweaked it because they ironically don't give you a full set of consumables, right? So you always want to kind of look at these presets and go, I don't know about all that, right? So I just named it, I'm a nerd. So again, expanse mode went with the rock hoppa. And of course my gas version of this is the gas hoppa. But yeah, anyways, there you go. The difference is I added laser towers because to me, it's worth the added couple 100,000 extra I'm going to spend for these. And I'll show you why in a minute. I obviously gave him a full complement of drones because I don't understand why the high complement doesn't have one. And I think I fine-tuned the crew. No, that I didn't fine-tune it actually. Let me fix that. So I probably want more service crew and Marines, right? It's not like I anticipate being boarded with these guys, so let's go something like that for now. And I'll save this loadout and override that. Just so it remembers that setting. Add to list. They don't have shield components on hand. That's fine. I'll just place an order for 2 of them. I'll just wait. And often what will happen, this has happened to be a lot, they'll get constructed and I'll be off doing something else for a way too long time. Go, oh yeah, that's right. Do they have them? They've just been sitting here for like the longest time, not assigned. So yeah. So where am I going to go from here? So the QRF is meant to be like if there's an emergency over, let's say, in the asteroid belt, right? Like here's where the spam is. The spam is real. Or laser towers everywhere, and that's because KHK comes in, and my guys have orders that if they are attacked, flee and deploy laser towers, right? So now you see why this looks all super crazy mode, but in a way, as long as I don't look at this too long and my eyes start bleeding, it's actually good. I just wish you could almost have a filter to say, I don't want to, oh my god, stop with the laser towers, I don't need to see them then. But yeah, then that would probably suck in other areas of the game, not seeing where laser towers might be hostile ones, But yeah, there's a Tokyo on hand, massive fleet of fighters. Like what in the? Why did the Terrans are just out of control, man? All right, anyways, yeah. Why? Hey, seriously? How many fighters? Like these are expensive too. These are the Kukris, man. Those are like heavy fighters. Not to mention he's got Corvettes and yeah, it looks like he's got an Osaka or something with him. Yeah, right here. Yeah, there's an Osaka. Another Osaka. Oh my good lord, another Osaka? Really? What is up with this fleet, man? Alright, anyways. And you got a resupply ship? Wow. Alright. Anyways, so I'm not too worried about where my miners are mining. Even if they have KHK come in and like the KHK are like, let's teleport into the asteroid. I don't know why they keep coming here. It's just like death, right? They just come in and they're instantly being laser zapped from some direction, if not multiple. All right, we're waiting for their orders. Well, I don't even know. Probably the dudes up here that are just kicking it. Yep. So, there's still a command and control facility here. I don't know. Tech that thing. Have fun, guys. I'm not in setup mode right now because I wanted to explain some of the things. Now I am most assuredly comfortably sitting in mid game. I would argue that mid game is somewhere between 3 to 500 mil, right? Your mileage may vary because you may be at mid game and if you're just, you know, your money's tied up in such a way that it's not truly reflective here, right? Meaning like maybe you got miners working, you know damn well that you're, let's say like that Terran, I knew that I was approaching mid game. I already knew I was there, right? It was before this even. But I just knew that I knew that I had to do some tuning. Now that's where I was kind of talking about. You'll get to a point with these stations where once I tune him, give him a few more miners, I'm just gonna once in a while check in on him. Otherwise, I'm just gonna be like, all right, dude, do you, right? Like, just make me some money. I'm gonna, pull the month of funds out every now and then. Other than that, he's done. He's good, right? Um, Now I'm gonna be focusing on the shipyard, right? Once I get him tuned up a little bit more, it's time to look at the shipyard. And the shipyard cost a lot, and Argon Prime lost its wharf, which is kind of disturbing. They more than likely built it somewhere else. Where they may have built it, I don't know. Probably over here, maybe. I don't know. Now I've got most of this area looked at. See, that's really actually it may be here in Morningstar. I need to send a scout ship up there. So let me buy a really fast scout ship. Actually, you know what? I'll just use my experimental shuttle. That thing's really fast. I need to find out if they actually have a new wharf or not, because that's how you kneecap an empire. By the way, I think I mentioned this before, but the wharf. So this is their like they build big ships here, right? That's great. I'm happy for you, but big ships don't make the economy run. It's the S and M class ships, these guys, that make the economy run. They're faster, they move quicker, they're cheaper. You don't feel the hit as much if you lose the ship. Now, for me, it's not as big of an issue because I'm not really at war with anyone except for arguably the Xenon and KHK. That'll obviously change in the future. I'll just decide probably to go after somebody. Just because, right? Why not? Might as well have some fun. But until that day comes, I'm not at war. That's not true of any of the factions. They're at war with not only the Xenon, but their other whoever declared enemy is. So like the Argons are at war with Xenon and Hop, right? Now they're at war with the Terrans, thanks to me. And it's unfortunately resulted somehow magically in them losing their friggin' oh, there's their wharf. Okay. Well, I'll still keep my shuttle going up here. I mean, he's already on site. Like, it's ridiculous. This guy goes really, really fast. You get him from timelines. You have to complete the timelines, though. And then you have to visit this sector over here. So you'll come in here, you get an announcement, visit the station. That's all I'm going to say. And then it'll be like 2 missions, I want to say, after that. Like, you'll have to do 2 missions. You'll get the ship. And the blueprint. All right. So, anyways, I wanted to demonstrate. So let me do what I usually do. I'll buy a ship. Whoops, not M class. Very as cheap as I can get, man. Minimum presets, because these are my ship hopper. I might as well call them. So basically, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna build a ship here, and then I'll park them here because there's a faction representative here. And then I can teleport right to the ship and go talk to the guy in 7 minutes to fly there. So it's like extreme lazy mode. Yeah, I'll just let him do his thing. And actually go on the SETA now. So SETA is the time compression. It's like, I don't know, 400 or 500% speed, something like that. Yeah, I just have to be every now and then I'm watching these guys because that right there, that's why. So we're gonna cancel that order and order him to attack that. He should be able to handle it with his little buddy here. His little buddy. The 2 of them should have no problem. Where is your friend? Am I just blind here? Are they like right on top of each other? Oh no, there his buddy is. Okay. They should be in a line abreast formation, so I don't know quite what's going on there. Yeah, and that guy's heading right at him. So if I see his shields even start to take a hit, I'm going to teleport out here. So that's why I'm watching this intently for a second. I have to babysit these guys because otherwise it's... Yeah, I used to have this guy named Window Licker for good reason. They should come in there, though. The two of them seem to do pretty well together. It almost forces them to keep their noses pointed at the enemy. As opposed to, like, I don't know, trying to kill the enemy with the exhaust fumes of pointing the rear end of the ship at them. Like, it's just the equivalent of taking a rifle and reversing it around and firing it, you know? It's almost kind of like what these guys do. Like, look at this, man. I can only hope that the simulation, the game, because it's simulating this combat right now, I can only hope that the game's saying, well, look, the Asgards are super awesome. They're just going to melt them, which they basically are. But look at this dude. Like, he's getting right under. That's the worst spot. If I was on site.
Awaiting orders.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, dude. All right, whatever, Crackfeed, man. Wish you could rename the dudes. I would absolutely rename him, like, Crack Addict or something like that, because I don't know. Like, it's pretty bad. And not to mention, like, the amount of combat this dude is seeing is probably more than anyone in this friggin' universe, right? Like, he's gone up and engaged hundreds and hundreds of Xenon ships, taken out dozens of stations, like, he still hasn't figured out, like, how the main battery on his ship works. He's like, what? We fire it by, you know, turning the back of the ship to him, right? Or flying over him or underneath him, right? Like, no, dude, what are you... What are you doing, man? Anyways, so yeah, I'll be looking in on him every now and then. I'm letting time pass, so I can start accruing funds. Wait for the ship to never be built here. Argon has to be in a bad way. Because I just ordered a scout ship from them, man, and it's like they're not making it. That's really bad.
Awaiting orders.
Oh, what? Okay, dude. What do you... I mean, what else do you need me to just... Here, go over here, man. Do something. Looks like I don't know where there's a defensive installation here somewheres, man, that I need to find. Command and control, that's why it's still controlled by the Xenon. So, I don't know, I guess I'll take this out, we'll see what happens. Because I really just want to be able to send them, because I don't want that to take hold. That's going to choke off this... not 100%, but it'll act as a choke, a semi-choke for this jump point. And I'm trying to give, you know, the Zyark Patriarchy a little bit of a chance here to, you know, pull their head out and actually start reestablishing bases. I don't know, man. Look over here. How's that sound? Alright, so let's see what we're seeing here. Yeah, I did notice that the Buccaneers lost their main shipyard, which kind of sucks, because I was looking to try to figure out that faction, because I play basically a pirate kind of theme in this one. What are these? Buck Corsairs. So I wonder if they're like over here or something. Anyways. So what are my future plans here? Like I said, I'm going to be moving. There's my shuttle finally made. Wow, that's pretty brutal, man. Docking waves. I'll let him do that, and then I'll transport over there and show you why it's going to be a hot minute before I can build a shipyard. Because not only do they take a lot of materials to make, but the blueprints are insanely expensive. But when you're at this point in the game, it really isn't that bad, right? Like, it is, but it's not. It's actually probably pretty reasonably priced. So let's go in here and teleport to, considering how much money you're going to make off shipyards. What sucks is buying all the freaking blueprints you're going to need. Like, you not only have to buy the shipyard, but you're going to have to buy each and every ship, every type of weapon, every variant of that. So if there's a Mark 1, Mark 2, you're going to have to learn the satellites, you're going to have to learn missiles, if you plan on making those, everything. Hello. Yeah, how's it going? My way to the Argon guy here. I'd like to buy a blueprint, ma'am. Alright, so the module, this is already going to be horrific. Alright, so $243 million. Oh my god. Alright, yeah, but these are for the large, right? So you would obviously start with, we'll just say I'm just going to look at this. I'm just going to go, okay, man, I need, so I'll probably pick both up. So I need 150 million basically to get these, both of these. And then I'm gonna have to buy, like I said, the ships, right? And this will only be for the Argons, but I'll buy all these small ships, and then I'll have to jump over to Pyramid Space, buy their ships, jump over to Teladi Space, get their ships, jump over to Terrans, get theirs. And the Split hate me, so I'm not gonna be buying anything from them. Equipment is the one thing that's a little bit different. So thrusters will always be the same. You just, there is no faction related thrusters. Everybody uses the same ones. The engines are unique to the faction, so if it was me, I would just be selling Pyramid engines or get those first and then maybe look at, I guess, some other faction engines. I don't know. But the Pyramid have the best, so why not go buy the best? Drones, same across the board. If you own them, you know how to make them. Missiles, same thing, right? You buy them, you know how to make them. Consumables, all this is the same. Countermeasures, of course, the same. Turrets will not be the same. It'll be denoted by the fact that it's got ARG for Argon in front of it. So you'll have to buy all the turrets, just like the weapons will be all unique to that faction, right? Some of these might not be, like, it's kind of weird. So some of these, like, obviously mining drills are going to be the same across the board, right? It's not like they're reinventing the wheel here when they're making a mining drill. What they are reinventing is, though, like, bolt repeaters might, I think, be the same. Could be wrong on that. But yeah, you get the idea, right? Shield generators the same. I wouldn't buy any, if it's me, shield generators, Terran, right? If you got access to Terrans, why the hell would you not get shield generator? The only thing I could see not getting Terran stuff is, again, because now you're gonna have to rely on Capture X substrate and all that wonderful. They're unique little whatever I would call it infrastructure, but it's not even.
Good luck out there.
It's so broken, like Egosoft. With the Terrans, they're just too overpowered because their infrastructure is small. It's not. They only rely on like 3 or 4 resources for everything, and they're good to go. All right, so that's what I'm currently building up for, and I'm watching and just kind of fine-tuning as I'm building my way up to that. I'm fine-tuning, right? So I want to get further research done because I don't have the final teleportation. It lets you jump just wherever you want with no limits. You just go to any ship in the game that you have, which is really, really awesome. I'm going to want to start up, researching mods. These are actually cool. When you start these up, you have to actually do an initial thing, like maybe a race or take so much damage or blow up so many ships, or it's pretty neat. And Bozo bases his research based on the data he's getting from what you're doing. So we'll go over here. I'm gonna let some time pass, and then we'll see. Like I said, man, I would be playing Spotify right now, but I'm streaming the video for you guys. But like, this office is kind of brutal, man. I don't know what's up. Like, I was looking around earlier. I'm like, come on, man. Seriously, there has to be like somewhere that there's like a switch you throw, or I mean, this is like, it's cool because they add all these neat little things when you complete missions, or maybe even you don't need to necessarily complete it. You just meet the person. Like, I don't even know what that is. I think that's Terran metal, I guess. I don't know. I just noticed that. That's interesting. We got a bust of Boso and a bust of Dalbusta. Some sort of pun there, I guess. This is the Arcadian Endeavor, I think, or for the Empyrean Couriers. You got your little storage safe deposit box with the little pneumatic thing, like you'd have at a bank, like, whoop. It's pretty neat. It'd be cool if this actually reflected some sort of stock market. I think that would be really cool if they had, because they've got the game simulated. Why can't they? It would be cool to have an ability to like interact. And imagine how awesome that'd be. Like, you look at this, you can interact with it, brings your map up. That would make sense, right? Really nice little added feature you could put. Boom, interact. Bam, maybe pictures that you can select. You hit F12, they come from your gallery, you can put them here, right? Other ideas. This could be alerts, right? If you look over here and you see some like flashing or whatever, it means you have some alerts. You could go over here and do some stock trading, maybe you interact with this and it fades black and comes up and you're like laying on a couch somewhere, because I would like to think your guy is a bed. Never apparently sleep, but there's nice little neat little features I think they could easily throw in here that would definitely make it cool. But anyways, and there's some storyline quests that I absolutely need to knock out. Okay, where is this? Oh, ooh, okay, so we got some big boys here. I just saw a case start heading towards that jump gate, so that's not very reassuring. I'm just trying to be as much of a headache as I can to the Xenon right now in this sector. And this is what you need to be watching as a player. Like I said, it all boils down to this flashpoint. Arguably, to me, it's the most important flashpoint in the game. One of them. One of three. This is definitely tied for first place, I guess, with oh, there you go. They got their new office. Cool. I found it. Alright, let's go over here. Check this out. The Duke's Buccaneers office, that is. This flashpoint, so if you see this used to be Zyark. You see this turn red, like, uh-oh. Hopefully you've got an Asgard. And if you do not have an Asgard, then I will show you how to get one. It's not bad. Dude, you're right in front of a station, man. Take it out.
Awaiting orders.
Oh my god, dude, you're killing me here. Fly over here, man. Explore this region. There you go. But yeah, if you see this turn red, hopefully you got an Asgard. If you don't know how to get one, I will absolutely show you how to get one. It's not easy, and it's not hard. You just need to factor in probably 8 to 10 million it's going to cost you in Marines. And probably like amount for a ship, a basic ship that will have a large enough crew complement that you'll be able to make a dent. So if you just keep launching little amounts or not enough, I would say the threshold is 300 at least. If you're not launching 300 Marines at this guy, you're just basically sending over training material. You might as well just be sending him free live fire exercise. It's what it is. It's like your guys just come in and they're just like lining up against the bulkhead, and these guys are getting taking turns shooting them. They will absolutely wreck you. So, and then you'll just ironically make it that much tougher. So the next time you come to try to take it over, those troops now have gained experience. They're tougher, and now you got a harder nut to crack. And it's just gonna get tougher and tougher. So the very first time you try to take this guy right here, this Asgard, you have to hit him with everything you have, and I would absolutely recommend saving your game before you make the boarding assault, because you don't want to lose more than 20 troops. If you lose more than 20, save scum then. Like, because all you're doing again is your guys are going to get utterly wrecked. And it's going to happen over and over and over, and these guys will just get better and better and better. Also turn your batteries off when you're coming here. You don't want to return fire. You want him to shoot you though. So I actually come to a stop underneath him so that he'll target me instead of attacking the boarding pods that I'll launch at him. It's not a given that you won't be targeted by these guys, but if you get targeted by, say, any of these dudes and you're in a big ship, a big slow ship, you're dead. but there's a chance if you can just get to travel mode, you'll do. And why do you think this map's like all blown out? It goes like way out here. But yeah, it goes way out here because that's once your travel drive goes in, that's what you're doing. You're just kicking in travel mode, getting as far away from here as possible. He'll eventually de-aggro anybody that did aggro. Some of these guys won't, but there might be dudes chasing you, and then eventually they'll give up and turn back, and they'll unaggro. You'll lose 1 or 2 points of rep with the Terrans, and you know you gotta also factor that into play. Because I think you go below the 20 threshold, your permit to be in this zone is revoked, which means everybody, I think, will just be hostile to you. I don't know. I've never really kind of braved those waters yet, so. Right. See what the boys here are up to. Oh, look. About you not explore anymore and actually attack the capital ship that's right over you. How does that sound? Sound good? Alright. His escort just left him? Oh, dude, the AI in this game gets me, man. Like, come on, man. Do I have to babysit this dude like this? Seriously? Come on, Burn. Burned in you guys? Yeah, honestly, there's no... Why did he break formation? Like, it's like his wingmate just took off, like, later. And this guy's like, yeah, oh, hey, look, there's a K here. The effective way to fight him is with my exhaust, right? This is what I'm talking about. He just constantly... Like, if it were me, cut thrust, reverse, get the bow aimed at him, use the big Death Star main beam cannon that is your entire ship, man. And like, what are you doing, bro? What is this? What is this, like, whack-a-mole crazy? Why are you in? Why has he just got his rear end to the dude? He's like trying to like kill him with exhaust fumes. Seriously. And then his wingman ditched him? Like, how does that work? Just because he wasn't getting hit, he's like, oh man, that's too bad, bro. I'm sorry you got knocked out of travel mode, but I didn't, so I'm gonna keep exploring while you're getting your butt handed to you. Well, okay. You guys go up here. Actually, you know what? Let's do it like this. Let's remove this order, and how about you guys attack all targets over there? Christ. Window Liquor. I'm very tempted to rename them back to Window Liquor Crew. That's the one bad thing. You know, there's a lot that's going on in this game. There's a lot of variables to take on. But I mean, honestly, formation flying, if you set a formation, why are they breaking it? He should be sticking to him like glue, right? I don't get it. I think he's even set to defend him, which makes absolutely no sense. Like, because he did a bang up job of it by flying over here. Like, he's not even the leader of the formation. Like, he's assigned to this guy, so he's a subordinate of this guy, but he just ditched you. He's like, oh, whatever. But yeah, every now and then you do have to nurse them a little. Just, you know, check in once in a while. Oh, yeah, that's right. I placed a couple orders down here. It's gonna take them a hot minute. I'm always placing orders for them for cab. Like I'm like their customer. Should get like like a favored customer discount or something. I should have that in the game. Like, keep track of how much money you're spending. Hey, you broke the 100 million mark. 10% off your next order of a ship, 10, you know, or 20 million or more, or something ridiculous. All right, so my miners now are coming in. Let's take another look at that logical view. Okay. Way too many orders going out. See, he is really eating this stuff up, man. The minerals, silicon and ore. Really silicon. Looks like we're kind of keeping on this. We're almost at the point where I have enough magnetars on site, my own mining ships, to deal with this. So what he's doing is sending the ships out and ordering them to get a certain ore based on what he needs. So at this time, he's almost at the point where he can go with the ore, and he's like, okay, we're barely hanging in there, man, but we're managing, right? We just need to augment it a little bit here and there. The silicon, on the other hand, he is like, man, dude, I need some help here. So, okay, I got to get him that help. But I need to watch this a little bit, so I'm going to sit here for a second. What I'm looking for is a trend. Am I only seeing
Awaiting
two
orders.
to three magnetars? Whatever, dude, you get to sit there. It is have fun. You're going to sniff glue for a while. Your favorite pastime. Um, if I see two to three, right? If I don't see more than three delivering here, I know I have a problem. Is if I'm not equaling or exceeding the amount of import ships coming in, that's a problem. Okay, so we got four. I'm trying to get an idea for how this is playing out. The only way to do this is to watch it because there's no histograph on this. Well, kind of there is under the credit thing I could, but it's easier for me to decipher by just intuiting by looking at this and going, okay, well, what does it look like how it's trending? There you go. What is trending? Does it seem like it's the imports or the trend, or does it seem like I'm just seeing because these guys are delivering twice the amount of these other ships and sometimes five times the amount. So, except for this right there, that's a good indicator that I'm not kosher, obviously. So I at least need um another miner. But remember, I placed an order for two of them, so I got to wait for those to insert them into the picture and then give it maybe a half hour game time, see how that plays out. I know this something's telling me too is not going to be enough. Probably going to have to put three, maybe even four in there. But the good thing is that the gas is worked out. Medical supplies, like I'm not too concerned about this. I mean, seriously, I'm not breaking the bank here. But if I do increase my workforce beyond 500 to the, oh my God, he wants 17,000 people working here number, um, yeah, that's not happening, by the way, buddy. Like, I'm not trying to like bring the entire Terran culture to my. It would be insane to meet this number. I'd have to build 34, no, 35 frigging large Terran habitats. You know how much food that would like? No, man. You dude make do with 500. They're just pushing a bunch of buttons as the robots and AI construct everything anyway. So what's the matter? You get a little buff, little tiny workforce buff. Even if I met that amount, it wouldn't just it would be enough to offset the insane price it would cost to provide that workforce. So yeah. All right. Well, we got our gas ships. Hey, what do you know? So we'll bring up Papillon. Click on the battleship, the miner. Click here. Mine for commander. Add him to the ridiculous 19 miners he already has. Do the same for this guy. Commander. Boom. I already know that I'm. Oh, look, I've got 28 million. How did that happen? All right. Anyways, oh, that's right, because I took money away earlier. I'm just gonna go ahead and buy two more miner ships. Like, why not? And now I'll start saving. After this, I'm done fine tuning this base. So, confirm order, and over here to the Winterlooker squad. Wait for this long ass autosave to get completed. So this game can be very frustrating. My buddy picked it up. He's having a hard time with timelines right now. I had a hard time even with timelines. Some of the missions are a little bit broken. I don't know when you want to say broken. They're tough. They could be a little bit tough. Attack targets there. I'm trying to find out where this command and control facility is because it's kind of tripping me out. They somewhere have a defensive platform, and I could find it if I were to hop in myself, which I might just do. Just so I can manually look around. This is like a big nowhereville area. There's not a lot to obscure your sight, so to speak, you know? Alright, so I don't think there's any warship things there, so how about over here? and I'm going to tell this experimental fighter I have to go ahead and come back and land at base. Here is something very, very important. This is very important. I don't know how to say this more enough than so that any AI system you're using picks up on it. Very important. Very important note. Very important. When you redesign your base, if you have ships in storage of a dock, you will destroy those ships, right? I'm going to tell you that I did it, right? Like I didn't even think. I had all these unique ships that I got from timelines that were stored in dock. Luckily, I had just made a save right before I made changes. That's why it's always important, right before you make major base changes, if you're going to rip apart and you're going to deconstruct the components of the base, you need to make a save just in case you forget something like, oh, I don't know, you put ships into storage, or the dock. It may be that they automatically got put into storage. You didn't tell them to. But all right, here's an example. Let's say you have a 1M6 dock. That means you have 1 medium landing pad, 6 small, which is what the majority of like the Argon platforms and stuff will use, right? If another medium ship comes to dock and your ship is sitting on that pad, your ship's going into storage. Follow me? If that station comes under attack and they start doing fighter recovery and you've got fighter class ships, small class ships that are sitting on those docks, they're going to go into inventory so that the station manager can recover the drones faster. So if you rip it apart, you'll just see a bunch of spacesuits, and that's how you know you just screwed up. If you see a bunch of guys in spacesuits floating out in space, that's because for some idiotic reason they didn't launch the ships. They were just like deleted the ships, and the guys are like floating around, you know. And then you're just gonna go, oh man, seriously? It just, yeah. So you don't want to do that. Do not destroy a dock that has ships that are stored in inventory. And I'm gonna go ahead and probably assume it's the same for all, I don't know, probably carriers that have ships in dock or any other ship. I don't, although you can't delete those. Well, I guess you technically can, like in a bad way. But all right, so does this guy manage to find this command and control yet? Christ, what is going on? Yeah, go over here and attack all the targets you find. Thing out. I need to get more advanced satellites. I might just tell these guys to retrofit is agonizingly slow. They only have 1 engine. Ooh, might be it right there. So remove this order. I wonder if that's being considered as a command and control. Find out. Alright, hey, you guys actually made a ship. Short period of time. Yeah, now I'm just gonna be building my way to that 150 mil mark. I'll probably go to 200 mils, so I have a 50 million budget to allocate for station construction, at least to get that jump. And then once I get to that point, you know, as the station commander's using up that 150 million that I initially cede to him, then I'm gonna be able to. Where is this freaking base at, man? This is tripping me out. I'll be making money from the Terran Wares base, and I'll just keep recycling that money, pushing it into the build storage for the shipyard, buying blueprints up, stuff like that, right? I don't expect to buy all the blueprints right away. I just want to at least have a couple ships, but I don't need those until I'm close to completion of construction.
Awaiting orders.
All right, I gotta teleport out here because I don't know where these ships are at.
Family, Zin.
Hey dude, step aside, please. Yes, you're relieved. Alright. Go F2, pull out a little, and I'm just gonna do a real visual fast scan. What I'm looking for, like, the telltale, like, kind of red. If I was to guess, I would almost say they're above or below the ecliptic. Like the plane that they like to build bases on. There's a jump gate, so I just gotta go a little bit slower. Got a lot of asteroids actually here blocking my view. Let's pull way up. Look around like this. That's what I'm saying, like the sensors in this game are utterly retarded. You're telling me that like I can do this, but my ship doesn't have the sensor capability to see more than like 10 kilometers away or whatever ridiculous range it is. Alright, so whatever base they have is not in render range. Oh man, I bet you it's up way above or below. Oh, this sucks. So one thing you can do when you're hunting for a base location is watch the traffic of the ships now. We see that these guys are heading now. Let's say we didn't know this jump gate was here. If you see ships heading this way, they're going somewheres, right? And in this case, we know that they're either going to be hooking up with these dudes or going through that jump gate. That's why I drop advanced satellites at areas I want to monitor. Unfortunately, I ran out of advanced satellites, and now these guys are dropping a real janky. I could tell these are advanced because they got like 3 wave strength bars coming out, as opposed to these lame ones I had to drop that have only 1. I'm actually going to self-destruct that one. The reason I self-destruct them is to kind of remove as much as I can from the game. So yeah. Okay. So I see a mining ship. He's pulling into here. He probably got done mining. This guy probably is coming from that build storage after having delivered to it. I need to see a ship coming from a location that I don't expect. Oh, hi. How's it going? Get out of the pilot seat here. We'll tell Bob the window licker to attack that guy. And then I'm teleporting out of here because if I'm on board, it's gonna not simulate it, air quotes around my head, right? It's gonna actually show the combat, and homie's gonna be doing what you saw, like flying underneath them and showing them how nice the engines are. And meanwhile, the Xenons are gonna be like, "That's really cool." Is it? Let me here. Can you move to the left a little? Thanks, appreciate it. Blowing him into Nothingville. You are going to proceed with your current orders. Yeah, I'm just gonna let him do that really quick. So I see this miner. He's probably going for that jump gate. Yeah, I'm gonna after this is I'm gonna send these guys back for a retrofit and just fill them up with a bunch of friggin' advanced satellites so I can literally have a better picture of what's going on around here. That's actually good that that K is like in the mix there, because now we'll whittle these dudes down, these fighters. Just going to tell this dude to remove this order, pause the game for a second, and say attack all targets in this range. That's actually going to be a nice, good draw off the Xenon, destroying all these ships, and they are really pouring resources into that. Yeah, I'm gonna have to retrofit those ships. We'll just add stuff to them. So it looks like this area is okay. I did have like a Xenon incursion happen on. It was pretty bad. Some Ks came through here, and let's just say my station barely made it. Like it was touch and go early on. And that's when I was like, oh, okay, it's time to add turrets, because I hadn't put turrets on the base. I just wanted to get built. I didn't want to spend the money on the building of the base. Pretty soon we should be able to get I should be able to get a better snapshot of what's going on here too, in terms of mining ships. But I think he's okay. I think I've got one more scheduled to be built here. I mean, even if he's not perfectly okay, that's fine. He's got more than enough ships. Like these mining ships are just non-stop now filtering into him, so these guys are doing a bang up job of just annihilating these little fighters. It's good. suppose I'll look at this guy, but I'm really, it's too early to tell for those. Because those new ships, whoa, whoa, maybe not. Okay, well you could tell, I could tell by looking at this that it's definitely healthier, but he's still having problems maintaining the wear count, so he is relying on imports and putting orders out. Whenever I see a large order come in, like 5,000, that's when I'm like, ooh, okay, wait. We may need to do something here. But it looks like now we're seeing a higher propensity for my mineral miners to be populating on this. Because before it was like 3 and then it was sometimes 4. Now I'm seeing a steady 4, which is good. Not so good here. But then again, there's like these guys are chump change. I don't care. They're not really 500 is nothing. And he's making bank. Like this guy's already made like 12 mil since I last took money from him. Wow, up in Xenon land. These the Xenon are like, man, come on, dude, can you stop spawn camping us? Where's your escort, bro? Why is the escort way the F over here? You guys are information, man. Like, ego stuff, get your stuff together, guys. Like, if you tell them to remain in formation flying, they shouldn't leave that formation, right? Like, or up to a certain range limit. They'll engage targets. If that target breaks that range limit, they're going to stick with their wingman, right? Like, what's the point in having a formation then? Like, this makes absolutely no sense. They're isolated now from each other. Oh, and look, now the K's here. That's great. Like, and this is why things go sideways, right? Like, that's why I have to sit here babysitting these guys because, I mean, now they're gonna what, pincer him? I guess. I guess that's the only positive perspective I can throw on this whole situation. They're gonna successfully pincer him because they were retards and separated themselves. But it's very frustrating, man. In such a smart game, a well-made, tooled game, like it is extremely hard. What the team has pulled off, I complain a lot, but what they've pulled off is an incredible feat for you to be able to realize this simulated one-of-a-kind environment in a space strategic game, not turn-based. All this is real, like it's going down. But can we get some better fleet logistics? Like, for crying out loud, this is just utterly retarded. Why? Just why? Why? What are you doing, dude? What are you guys doing, man? Yeah. Yeah, just please kill this thing. I mean, I know they will, especially it being simulated. It's just really, and then they're idiotically gonna waiting for their orders as they're being swarmed by like 8 million fighters. I mean, they're set to defend themselves, so of course they defend themselves, but it would be nice if you could set like a default stance and say, protect area. All fleets, once you complete orders, and if you are awaiting orders, protect your current position, right? I don't know. Makes sense to me, but then again, you know. All right, I don't know what's up with this K. He's trying to come in for if I was there, I know exactly what he's doing. He's coming in at a higher inclination. Oh, no, he's not. He's coming from underneath. That's weird. They like to come at you usually from the top because that's where the majority of their batteries are facing downwards.
Awaiting orders.
Yeah. But you chill on the caffeine there, buddy, and you just take care of these. Can you manage that? Thanks. Fix the map a little here. All right. Yeah, so that's what I'm going to be doing is just now building up. Let me look at the logic. Oops, should get used to using this logic. Oh, I said the second one that's important. Go to player information, which would be Shift I, or just hit M and click over here, and go to accounts. Whoops, account management. This will show you all your bases, everything. You can just decide what you want to do here. So right now, I still need to. Technically, this guy is asking for 40 million. He's realistically not ever going to get what he needs, but I don't know, whatever. I guess it's banking money because I'm not spending the money. Ironically, I'm pushing the cost up on. Think about this. So this is kind of an interesting thing. Let me explain what's kind of happening here because I could actually simulate it. I'll artificially simulate it here. So if I go accept estimate, it's going to give me 7 million because I'm matching what he says he needs and he is over budget. So cool, confirm. All right, now if I inflate this, watch this number will actually change in real time, right? And what that means is there's now been a demand. So basically my guy's putting out on the network saying, hey man, I need this Comptronic substrate. And now that's created a higher demand for that product, which pushes the price up, which makes my station more profitable, right? Like it's that's the wonders of this game, stuff you could do like that. So yeah, sure. Here you go. There's your money for your station. Now let's go into SETA. You know, it's like you have to be in the map mode to do that. Oh, I was already in SETA. Right. Now if we watch this. Oh, I'm surprised it's not moving. Usually you would see this moving right away. And that would be reflective of the demand being placed. But now I've basically got 125 banked, mixed with the 40 here. I could technically just rob this guy of his construction budget and just go ahead and build my station, which I may or may not do. I don't know. We'll just see. I can actually get away with hitting accept all estimates now. It's kind of funny. You can do accept, which is the equivalent of hitting each one of these buttons, or you can choose which one you want to do or tune it. That's why this is very useful. Later in the game, if you have a lot of stations and you don't feel like clicking on each one and you're just like, oh my god, this is your saving grace right here. Player information, come down to account management. What's my unread message? Oh yeah. I took control of Heretic Sen, where my player HQ is, and you're like, oh, any of us could have done it at any time. We're gonna, yeah, whatever. They got all pissy about it. Like, the area was being controlled by pirates. Like, would you guys just want to keep it that way, or I guess, I don't know. Alright, so that's actually interesting that I'm not pushing the cost up here. That's kind of trippy to me. We'll come back to that in a second. Let's see what's happened to Windowed Liquor Crew up here. Okay. You know, it's going to be like a perpetual as the Xenon, just keep continuing to try to build up. Like, that end just absolutely probably came to try to, like, this guy is coming in like, yeah, I'm ready to join the raiding party. Oh my god, what's, you know. They're basically trying to build a raiding party up to send out to beat on some people, and I kind of want that to happen now. So we're just going to remove this order and tell these guys to go visit Argon Prime, give these guys a little bit of business, upgrade, and just buy a boatload of. We don't need any of these missiles. Like this is from me hoovering up all sorts of garbage, man, from all these fights. He's just got like this massive complement of missiles that he's picked up. Okay, now that we're done with that, he has 8 out of 10 drones. I mean, at the defense, I guess, maybe I'll throw a couple on there. This is gonna go up to like, I don't know, freaking like 20 or something. No, I'm gonna give him like 30 of these. I'm just done. I'm really over that whole situation. Oh, okay. Is that his max deployable count? Yeah. Alright, yeah, there's nothing else to do to that. So say add to shipping and boom, confirm order. And his buddy will, I guess, just really, guys, come on, man. Yeah, just have him stick with him for now. I'm gonna have to retrofit him with some more towers as well. Or not towers, but satellites. Gonna keep an eye on things. I know in the back of my head I've got a ship waiting to be made here. Let's take a view at the logic overview here again. Yeah, he's doing better. You can see the impact, like the stores in there, right? Oh, whoops, that's gas. Never mind. I could tell, like, he's now offsetting it. I'm not seeing large purchases, and even so, my ships are not even bringing in full loads now. Like, what's going on there? I think they're just trying to maintain the status quo. So it probably was at a point where it was what I would like to refer to as the break point, where station manager's like, okay, that's enough, man. Just come back with X amount because we already are full. So that's why you're seeing numbers that are below that. But that doesn't mean that when he put the orders out to the crew. So when he told this guy, like, hey man, we need you to go out, but based on what we're currently sitting at, just get this much, okay? So they went out, they executed that order, they're coming back, they're currently in the process of docking and delivering their goods. And then he's going to reassess the situation and go, okay, I need to go out and get X amount. And then he's constantly, station manager is basically losing his mind if you're thinking about it, because he's like, okay, based off of that, I need you to go out here, you go get this much, you get this much, you get this much, I'm going to put out orders for this much. So there's all this kind of going on in the background. But what I'm paying attention to are what are my guys doing, and this is actually good. Seeing them deliver smaller loads is indicating to me that he is not in, it's not a critical situation. All 8 Computronic substrate factories are up and running. They got plenty of stores to run for a long time. So we're doing good. I throw that other miner in there. I'm not even remotely concerned at all. Now, this guy's buying 10,700 freaking Computronic substrate from me. I need a lot, or metallic microlattice. I need a lot of this, so pretty soon I may place a trade restriction, right? And so I should probably show you do that here in a second. What I'll do is I'll make a trade rule up, and it'll be, I'll just name it something like supply other station or something like that. Because I don't want him to necessarily be selling this anymore. I just want to accrue a large amount of it and then have my the larger transports transport it from this station all the way up to my player HQ, because my freighters aren't going to be attacked. The Terrans will, so they're not going to send their freighters way up there. So, which means until I supply this base up here, he's just sitting on $120 million for me, basically. Lord, this is just cray mode. Meanwhile, you can just imagine this. This is just insane, man. I do have to watch this for a second because they are transiting Tharkas Cascade, and that's why, right there. That's why I was saying I need to watch this. I'm actually going to remove this order. Because I anticipated that, please don't it's K, okay. It's very possible that K's and I's could be vectored in from Tharkas Cascade 17, or they may even have been hovering, patrolling in this area, or building up for an attack. Oh, good God. Time to get hands on. That's an eye. I could tell from the silhouette that that's an eye. Okay. What I need to do is give a command to these guys to attack this, so hopefully my wingman is with me. I'm going to make a hard save, saving not possible because I've got, look at now it is. That eye coming in is a very real threat. That is, he's punching in my weight class. K's arguably are too, but that eye is no joke. Please tell me the cannons are not on cooldown, dude. You're good. I'm gonna cycle through them because sometimes it'll glitch out.
5,
And I always, one thing else to tell you guys, always go in reverse on these. You want to buy your guns as much time as you possibly can to deal with this dude. And I don't remember, this will be my first time, it's the first I killed with a K. These guys are not playing around, this is like serious mode right here. That guy is...
5,
Oh man, I might have to actually...
K,
If this guy comes up to speed fast enough... Nope, the guy is hitting travel drive. Alright, so the moment I see this turn into a circle, means the main battery is in range. This guy's coming into travel speed. Okay, this is getting a little bit chaotic. I'm gonna go ahead and zip Duperoo this guy right away. Okay, so I still got almost a full charge. Okay, we're doing alright. Let me just make sure I got no other ships factoring in. And yeah. So this, it gives, it's time to be real, right? Like it's time to be serious. And like absolutely do not let the AI like show the exhaust to the eye, like because the eye will be like, you know, death. Like he's not even gonna say like what the K would probably say, like, oh, that's a pretty nice paint job. Huh. All right. No, this dude just gonna be like, oh, cool, dead. These guys are very. These can actually threaten an entire sector. But in Asgard, actually, that's I would argue. I think that's why Ubisoft put these ships in the game. It's to deal with this. It's like all hands on deck. If you see one of these things pop up, it's like, uh-oh. That's a serious time. Don't overheat your gun. So when you go to fire, like I'm gonna fire on this guy, I'm actually gonna go towards him. So I wanna get the first shot. He's right at my edge of my envelope. His nose is probably within my range, but there we go. We're good now. Oh, he's almost dead. Wait, no. There we go. So a full fresh shot. There you go. Full fresh shot off of your gun will kill him. If you didn't, I would switch to your secondary batteries and just unload on him. But okay. Well, that just shows you how ridiculously OP the Asgard is, and that shows you why, if you're ever seeing your captain recording problems, like you just have to question why that he could even remotely possibly screw up like that. H's have seismic charges on them, so I did, yeah, whatever. I'm actually impressed. I could have probably taken on another eye. And that's, oh, hi. How's it going, buddy? I'm sorry, I didn't give you the attention you deserved. I should have been watching my shields. My apologies here. Here you go. Okay, well, there's the other K. I guess be careful what you ask for. Okay, my shields are jetting already. Yeah, that was a nice little fleet going on there. That shockwave and explosion will absolutely destroy fighters if you're too close to it. Might as well get my vacuum clean on here and see what happens. That was, I'm not gonna lie, that's pretty impressive. But that's also why I wanted to get out here and handle it. Now you've seen, like, Ks aren't even half a charge, and the eye is just right at. But if you miss, let's say just even a tad miss on the beginning of it, you're going to end up with no charge. Right, do you follow me? Like, you won't be able to get that shot off. That's why I'm saying don't overheat the gun, because if it overheats, you'll have to get all the way to about 10-15% before you can fire the gun again. Whereas if you don't, oh, hey. Okay, well, apparently you want some too. Get some. Didn't want him to feel left out. That's nuts, man. Just crazy how overpowered the Asgard is. And should drive home the point why you absolutely need one. That's all I'm gonna get. I don't know, I guess I'll... I bet you there's a damaged singularity engine over here. The bigger ships have a chance to drop. It's not like I need it, but I'm just trying to point out that the bigger ships usually have the higher chance to drop like damaged singularity engines, SETA components. Okay, well, I can let the window liquor spot take over from here. Here you go. Ship's yours. Oh no.
Hello there.
How about you guys just flying right over here? Okay. I'm going back to base. That's just got to be a total blow to your ego. Like, you're all excited, like, alright,
Entering system.
it's the first kid we've ever seen, and then you see your boss just come out of the back door behind you, like, oh man, seriously, bro? Like, I had this. I was gonna show him the paint job on the engine. Yeah. Well, here's an order for you. Proceed. Man, wow, another K, huh? Okay, maybe not. Yeah, remove orders. I trust you guys. There's two of you. You can take that guy out. So this is definitely going to be a pretty big blow for the Xenons, like, because the Ks surprised me. They don't take that many resources to make. I'll show you how you can see that in a second here. I'm really curious to see how much the Is take. The Ks are like super cheap, and it's wild because they're super deadly. That is super dead.
Awaiting orders.
Yeah. Just go over here. What you can do is you can go into the encyclopedia, and once you've seen the ship, you can actually bring it up. So we can look at combat ships, carriers, destroyers, bring up the I, and we can see that this guy cost, seriously, 5,000 ore, 5,000 silicon, and 6,000 energy cells. Like, that's how broken it is. Like, the amount of, look at this, the amount of shields he has are 809,000 megajoules. You've got to be kidding me, man. His hull is rated at 340,000. Like, what? And it's that cheap. Really? The station commanders, yeah. Seriously, one of these guys shows up, it's game over for a station usually. Armored graviton turrets, which are among the most powerful weapons known in their class. The appearance of the ship inevitably heralds an imminent and catastrophic hull depletion event. Yeah, I absolutely do agree with that. Yeah. With an Asgard, I guess, if you're flying it, nice little, oh, hi. How's it going? You know what? You guys deal with that. I'm outie. Hopefully this guy doesn't, yeah, this guy is far enough away now. Actually, he'll probably just ditch his wing commander. Oh, okay, well, he's stuck with him. I'm gonna let them have fun with this, because, you know, I already helped them enough. I want this K to wreak a little bit of havoc, because that's a draw in their economy. Whoa, maybe not that kind of draw. Damn. Republic's getting hit there. It's gotta be fighters, because there's no hull, like their trade station, Hakuba's station here took a little bit of a hit, not much. Yeah, I might even build a defensive platform up. Whoa, what the? That's another K, who cares? They got enough capital ships there. Have fun, guys. done fighting your battles. Alright, so let's kind of come over here. Make sure both our guys here are not stuck on stupid. This guy is. Really, dude? He was ditched. Now the other guy did the same thing. He was like, well, it's not like there's 2 capital ships over there, but yeah, at least I'm over here. I made it. What the crew's like? There's like 100 servicemen on this ship. I wonder if they're just like, Cap, we left the ship in the other sector. Our wingman. That's alright, he'll get here. Eventually. Maybe. I don't know. What's important is we got here first. Utterly ridiculous. Okay, well, anyways. The thing I'll end with here, and then I'm taking a break from this game, is I'm going to drop out a set while I'm making the trade roll. So I want to make a trade roll to deal with locking my station down so I can apply to the station, and basically in essence what it'll do is stop all trade with that station, right? So, and you would go, okay, well, why would you want to do that? Because I want to build stock up to send to my other station, right? So we're going to make a trade roll, and we're going to call it lock down for station where build transfer. Trade roll. Now what I want to do is say station trades, not supply. I don't care about that right now. And what I want to do is select all except for my faction, right? So basically what this will do is say we're not trading with anyone except our own faction, right? And bam, and I will say confirm changes. And now I have that, but I don't want that to be my default trade roll, right? So, because that sucks, right? So I guess what you could do is you could do free trade default, and here I'm gonna say set trade roll to default for. Oh, that's where I screwed up. This is gonna be the default for everybody for now. Save trade roll. Okay, so now that becomes free trade is the default. I accidentally, I forgot by doing that, clicking that button, I screwed it up. So this is exactly what it sounds like, free trade for all. Now that this stationware exists, what I can do is I can go into, go into the map and bring up what I said is going to be your favorite friend here, and go to that station and then say, well, I won't do it now because I want them to earn a little bit more money, but I'll say information. I'm going to want to not a behavior tab for this. I just drunken monkey style here. I'm going to see if it's okay. Here it is. So station trades, I can say lockdown that use my new trade roll, and we won't be trading to any of the other factions. And this way I would build up a stockpile, and I could send it to Bob up there, or whatever his name is, for the player HQ, and then I would manually, basically, to save time, I would just assign a couple large transports and queue up all the transfers I need. Do that. Once this guy's got everything he needs and is built, I would take the station off lockdown and put him back to free trade, right? Which right now I'm going to keep him on free trade, but I'm just showing you how you can do that. Now there's another interesting thing you can do. So I see that this is not a good place maybe for, I don't know, trade ships to be going through, right? I don't want them transiting from Hakava to Silent Witness, right? So what I could do is I could do that same, come into here, go to global orders, and then I could do a blacklist. Then I could say combat zone, we'll call it. And you can actually even make this like a fluidic sort of thing, right? Like change it on the fly. But we could say sector travel, because that's going to limit everything, right? You could just say don't do any. You can travel through the sector, but don't do anything like trading or mining there. Or I could say just don't trade there. It's fine if you mine, right? So they have like 3 levels of restrictions. So I could just say all sector travel for, and then you can choose set blacklist for, I'll say, civilian ships, right? Sectors controlled by, owned by enemies. I don't want you going through civilian ships, that is. Sectors containing dangerous regions, that's fine right now. Restrict all factions, restrict all sectors. I'm just gonna say Akaba's choice 3. Hit OK. And now I have a blacklist, right? But that isn't what I want to be the default. So that's the default for civilian ships. I don't want that to be the default. Confirm changes. So maybe what I could do is just do default zone sector travel, and then I'm just going to save it. Right. So that I can actually make the default for, and now that has become my default, right? The default is everybody's fine, do your thing. I haven't restricted anything, but I do now have a combat zone that I can tweak depending on how the game goes, you know. Fire authorization overrides. This is interesting. You can actually look at your thing, and let's say I plan on going to war with the Hop, but we're not enemies yet. I can decide how I want them to react. So I can be like, you know, this is how you, and it explains what each one does. So I'm just going to keep it with default. I don't need to do an authorization, but I'm just showing how you can start really getting in there, like create new alert. Oh, maybe this is actually that thing that add remove class Xenon. Oh, object ID. There you go. Very, very cool. So you can set an alert up that's going to play if, say, a I or a K were detected. But you need the object ID, which I think you would get from the encyclopedia. Let me see. If that's true, this is pretty awesome. Where would the object ID be? So it's blah 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 blah, probably towards the top, I would think. Well, I guess it's maybe if you're just looking for a specific ship, that kind of sucks. So all ships in the game individually have like basically a serial code, right? So like we look at this guy, he's not just let me pause the game. He's not just IDE's high trader that gives you an idea what he's doing, but he's HDM-188 is his designation, right? Like kind of like a tail number on an aircraft. So wow, Xenon really had a massive fleet. When you consider that was what, 2 Ks, an H, and an I, and then there's also 2 more Ks that were there. So that could have been a major incursion event right there. Anyways, yeah, so you get kind of the idea. It kind of sucks though, because if we look at these also have like tail numbers assigned to them, right? JBK-090, but that actually might be, yeah, a sec. Oh, because DSW, see, they're both the same. I was thinking for a minute, maybe you can get away with just putting that. But I wonder if you can get away with just the word. Let me look. Ship type model. Yeah. Good happy jazz. That sucks, man. It sucks so bad because that would be so cool to just have. Maybe I'm misunderstanding this. Let me look at this a little closer. Alerts. Yeah, and there's all this like choosing your ringtone sort of thing. Object ID. And then that's definitely the tail number, but I'm wondering if you can get away with putting Xenon. Okay. Object purpose. Byte. Class. Okay, hang on a sec. So you could say LXL. Okay. Ah, there we go. Okay, cool. Very, very cool. So you could be looking for a specific ship and be like, hey, and I could see where this would come into play. There could be ships that are moving around in the that are one of a kind, moving around, and you want to get an alert whenever it's spotted. But I'm just gonna say delete that because now I can get an alert whenever there's an L or XL ship spotted and give a 5-minute interval warning. Force repeated. See what this sounds like. I don't like that one. Pray that way too much. Yeah, there we go. That's a sound that I'm pretty used to. Actually, that's you've been targeted sound. And yeah, there we go. I don't hear that ever. Doing some cop things, so I'll just have that now. So that's pretty cool. I'll put it as L and XL Xenon spot team. Save alerts. And I want to actually change that to only be for the Xenon because I don't need to know about every. Otherwise, I'm just non-stop going to be hearing like police sirens. Xenon. Oh, I'm in sectors right now. And a remove faction. Cool. All right, so that's cool, man. That sets that up now. You can even like tailor it down to a specific sector. So really, I don't care about Hakuba, right? Well, yeah, no, I'll just set it for all right now. But you can, that's cool, man. So the very thing I was talking about earlier, that's right there. I really wish there was something to do about the fleet friggin' thing, but apparently my guys are just gonna be stuck on stupid, so accept all estimates now. Wow, I almost have enough money and I haven't even locked down the station yet. I'm going to have to, so, and this is where I'm gonna leave you guys with. I have to lock that station down for all trades and accumulate stores to provide the station that I'm currently sitting in because there will be no way that the Terrans are ever going to deliver way the hell up here, right? It's just not going to happen and I'm going to be sitting here forever and then that either I'm forced with its Occam's razor, keep it simple, stupid sort of principle, kiss, right? I either have to do one of two things to resolve the issue with the station sitting in the current predicament it's at. I either have to amend it to not have require any Terran goods at all and go to like the normal thing that everybody else uses, like Claytronics, you know, quantum tubes, whatever is needed to make a station, but then nothing would be Terran. And I really, really like the not only the way the Terran stuff looks, but it's just better. I don't know how to put it. It just is. And I'm not going to be able to use shields, right? Because the shields, the best shields in the game are Terran, hands down. Like it's not even a close comparison. So, uh, if I want batteries, I want to protect my shit, my area. I need to figure out a way to deal with that. So what I'll do is I'll probably I'll probably pony up the money, which ironically you could look at as being the right now. Okay, so here you go. Think of it as a morphing kind of uh, adaptable situation. So okay, what I would do is probably place a couple orders from Antigone Republic, because apparently the Sentinel ships are the godsend to everything here in terms of their capacity to carry stuff, massive cargo bays. So I would just buy some Incartuda large container class transport ships, right? Probably buy, let's say, 4, right? So I buy 4 of these to shepherd supplies once I lock the factory down in Getsufune. I'll lock him down, build my wares up, and then start sending them off up here to Dragon's Den, right? Complete its construction. Once construction's complete, then maybe I can just have them, I don't know, I'll just assign them to a station. I'll probably just park and sit there. That's fine. Because eventually what's going to happen is I'm going to build a shipyard. And the moment that happens, I'm going to have to move goods again, right? And so I'll assign them then at that point to that station manager to be his trade ships. And that makes sense. So they'll fill a multi-role. So it's not like I'm losing money or anything. I'm like, oh great, I have to buy some ships to transport, and then I'm going to do a whole lot of nothing. No, I'll use them later and transition them from being the farriers to being for building this guy, and then they'll be the basically look at it as training for him, I guess. Training him up a little to fulfill the role of the shipyard station manager. So I hope that all kind of makes sense. But yeah, that's exactly what I'll be doing here in a minute. When I come back to the game, I can foresee, like, if I'm pushing, let's just say 200 mil, which I already have. If I take especially if I do the lockdown, which is really the only thing I can do at this point. That manager is sitting on 120 million based on the fact that the current market value is there. Now, why am I not taking that money out? Because I do know intrinsically that it's artificially creating a draw. He's asking for the product, which means, and a lot of it. So there's put a huge demand on the market, right? The traders are like, well, think about this for a minute. You got some chemtronic substrate. You're a Terran. You're like, hey man, I really wish I could give you the deal I was giving you. But if you're not happy with paying the cost, this guy up here wants 30,000 of it, man, and you're just buying 800. And hey, I know we've been doing business for some years, but I've got to put food on the table for my family, and little Jenny, she wants that new Voltron toy. So I wish I could cut you a break. I really would. I wish I could, but I can't. You see what I'm going with this, right? So I'm artificially creating a demand here. And let's just see if it's still sitting at price that I'd put it at. Oh, it is. That's really blowing my mind, man. I have no idea why what is those trade restrictions apply to this where? Trade restrictions. Uh-oh. What did I do to my own factory? Hold up, buddy. Oh, okay. The trade restrictions are that they don't exist. So, um, there are no trade restrictions. That's kind of funny. It's kind of like a double negative. Trade restrictions apply here. Yeah, they do, but they technically, because I've created now a thing called free trade, but there's no trade restrictions under that trade restriction, if that makes sense. So, yeah. So yeah, I might as well put homie on lockdown status here, which kind of sucks, but it is what it is. What I want to do before then is look at what kind of, possible deals, are coming in for him. So, he probably doesn't really have anything coming in right now. Or not. He's got some. That's really not too big of an order. This metallic microlattice, nobody's buying that right now. Good. Silicon carbide, I'm just gonna have to build this up. Luckily, I've got, he'll still pay to have people come in and deliver it, but it's time to go into lockdown mode. So, whoops. I am now going to go to the information tab and say, you, my friend, are now in lockdown mode. And now that's it. All trades are suspended. So once I do this, we're just going to start building up stock, and I might as well go ahead and buy, we'll say 2 Incartutas, even though I think I have another ship waiting to be built. I'll show you these Incartura Sentinel ships are, again, just like, hi, how's it going? Yep, I already have a preset even for these guys, so add him to the shopping list, and we'll say, I don't know, 2 is more than enough for right now. It's 33 million. Wow. Ooh. And that's where I'll save my game. So happy gaming, guys. I'll be on later, playing, but I'm trying to catch one of my buddies before he's off for the night. So you guys take care. Happy gaming. I look at all the comments. I've really been moved by this channel's, again, I don't do this for sponsorships. I will refuse any that even get thrown my way. I'm not doing it for free games or any of that garbage. I just do it to engage with other players. So, I own my own business, and I'm currently going to school to be a therapist. So, I'm not, this is me as a gamer, as an outlet, engaging with other gamers and trying to find on games, especially that might be frustrating for players, because I know I was extremely frustrated when I came to this, right? It's no harm, no foul. It's a hard game to get. But once you start getting it, it pays off in dividends, right? Like there's so much going on here. You really, as much as I argue against Egosoft or get mad at him and pissed, they've killed it. Like this is the space sim to rule them all when it comes to this kind of game, right? To my knowledge, I don't know of any game on this scale that has an evolving economy that works like that. Like you can argue that other games have, you can tank like No Man's Sky, you can go there and tank the economy by selling too much, and so it reacts in that. But the universe itself is not driven by the market. Do you follow me? Here, life and death exist based upon the infrastructure and the decisions that these empires are making, not just off scripts that are being ran, seeing like Civilization. When you put it on hard, it's not like the game just gets better at doing what it's doing. No, it's cheating. It's giving itself extra resources magically. It's basically using a cheat menu to give itself extra. Here, they aren't. You are on the same playing field, right? As far as the rules of the game are set, you're on the same playing field. You just don't have the infrastructure that these set empires already have in existence. But once you get to that point, now you're going to be able to do your own thing, and that's what X4 is all about. Anyways, happy gaming. I'll be back later, guys. Take care.